hello, and welcome back to the Pocket Dimension. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the podcast where we talk comic books and all things related. And once again, I'm joined by my good homie, Mr. Bradley Jacobs.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't have a name for you today, so
Thank you. I'm actually very excited for today. It's been like 2 weeks and we haven't. Not that we haven't done anything. It's just that it's been 2 weeks and we haven't.
Life's been crazy. You ran the Soweto Marathon.
Yeah, half marathon. I'm rethinking about my hobby at this moment.
Listen, you gotta. If you're gonna be carrying all these comic books place to place, which
might as well be like squaring up with people and
you gotta be
get a
fit.
good run in.
You gotta be fit. You know.
You've also been collecting some awards, which is also great.
Yeah, no.
And you've had a birthday.
I've had a birthday.
Shout out to your birthday.
Whole year older now.
I know, dirty 30s. If you didn't know, Chad is a whole 25.
Yes. Even next year I'm 25. Don't ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've been 2 weeks out, but happy to be back. We got a lot of news to cover. We got a lot of things to cover. Okay, so just if you're here for the first time, hello. Thank you for joining us.
What to do?
Make sure to hit a like, subscribe, and share with someone who you think might enjoy our content or seeing these beautiful faces. Or voices.
And also, for those of you that are joining us again,
welcome
and
back.
thank you. We've been getting some great responses from everybody. And listen, we do this for you guys.
The love's been great.
We love you all very much.
Yeah, no. All right, so just to give a breakdown of the show, it's our 3 segments. We're going to be diving into the Wizard segment, which is the news. We'll be covering the past 2 weeks that we've missed, as well as Wakanda Forever, because Brad and I saw it last night on opening day, and we got a lot to talk about. Oh. And then after that, we're diving into the call order. So it's the books we've picked up, books we're looking forward to, and general thoughts on what we're reading currently.
Yeah.
And then the comic book club.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, I think the one thing for Wakanda Forever, we're going to try and do it as spoiler-free as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And if we do spoil...
Sorry.
I mean, watch at the same time that you watch this.
We'll try to be mindful if there's spoilers, but yeah, we will try and keep it as spoiler free as possible. And then in spirit of Wakanda Forever, for Comic Book Club, we're going to be tackling the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda.
Great run that was.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's where it started and ended.
Yeah, no. All right, so let's dive into the Wizard segment. What do we have first? Or should we talk
Wakanda Forever first?
Yeah.
So, for me, we went to go watch it yesterday, which was Friday.
Yeah.
We're watching it on whatever day, on the release. And, like, I remember you sharing a picture with me for Iconic Brands had, like, the screening, like, special screening for everybody that wanted to come through. And for me, it was, like, my first experience to, like, see it, and I think for you it was your second time, but you did the Batman one before, and then like for me, my first experience, I was like, thank you to Iconic Brands and the team.
Big shout out,
What a great event. I enjoyed every minute of it. Like we got to meet multiple people, but like different people, like people that are just watching the Marvel cinema, Marvel Studios
or like
vibe.
It's superhero movies in general.
Yeah, like people that just enjoy that. We got to see some of the comic book fans.
Yeah,
we got to see like it was everybody, which was it's actually amazing to see that like everybody's out there to support, but also just to engage with different people. You know
what Iconic Brands and the partners with Asylum Pod, who also have a podcast. I'm gonna put all their descriptions I'll put the links in the description below if you're watching us on YouTube. Iconic Brands and Asylum Podcast really create this really nice atmosphere, this fan experience. So we were saying that it's you don't necessarily, like, we comic book readers, so you're gonna meet up with comic book readers, people who love the movies, and they even have like cosplay competitions,
which is also right. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. It's like its own like little mini Comic-Con type thing, because we don't get too many of them.
That's
so
true.
It's a really great fan experience, and I do encourage you, if you haven't, like, I don't know what the next screening might be. It might be for Avatar coming out in December. I'm not too sure. But go check out Avatar, The Way of Water.
I mean, okay.
Bradley, that movie looks good, man.
I mean, okay.
Say hello, Jake.
But yeah, no. Okay. If it comes out on my birthday, I'll probably still watch it.
Fair, yeah.
But I mean, it's Avatar. Anyway,
Hey, bro. Okay,
you guys can hate me.
we'll discuss this offline. We'll take this offline. But yeah, no, keep
Joking,
an
yeah.
eye out on their socials. They really do create a really nice fan experience, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, shall we dive into Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Wakanda Forever.
Right?
Like I didn't. Well, I watched one trailer.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
with the first Marvel. What do you call that? Like the Marvel event where they showed like the up and coming movies.
Oh
or
yes,
whatever.
yes.
I remember watching that trailer, and then I watched none after
None.
that.
Yeah.
None after that.
I
I
do.
knew that the boy Nempo
I was coming through. Yeah.
was coming through,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm not gonna watch anything else other than this.
Fair. I think though the best way, and this is something I think I've told you before, the way I tackle these movies now, because they will release a teaser, they will release maybe two trailers, and they'll release clips.
Yeah.
Basically, essentially giving you like everything. Like I understand that they're trying to entice public viewers
Yeah.
to come and watch the movie, which fair, I get it. But also, I'm not trying to get the whole movie. I'm trying to just go watch the movie and enjoy the movie. So I watched the trailer, the teaser trailer, and then the trailer, and nothing else after that.
Okay.
I stay away.
Yeah. You
So-
and me are different when it comes to
Yeah,
like
when it comes to that.
like building up to something.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
I'll get to the point where I'll watch one thing and I'm like, this is gonna be insane.
Yeah.
And then I'll tap out from it, and then I'll
Oh,
like
okay, and
whenever
then
I
you-
see something that comes up with that, I'll be like, this I report it and say it's spam so
Oh,
that it
okay.
doesn't come up in my feed again. And then
Complete block.
and then like that's how I tackle my because I want to be like blown away, because
Surprised,
sometimes
yeah.
as you mentioned, like what happens with most movies is that they keep building up to it, and then I feel like I've watched half of the movie and I'm like, I kind of understand what's going on, what's going to happen,
Exactly,
but you
yeah.
don't really. So I just rather would walk away and be like, nah.
Yeah,
I'll wait
yeah.
for like however.
No,
for the
no,
movie to come.
that's
But
maybe
what kind of
that's a good approach though. I'd be
Yeah.
able to start just like a report. I'm not interested in this anymore. Don't show it to me.
Yeah, like Wakanda Forever. I think what I'm about to say, and I think you can agree with me, is that we all were under the same impression because, like, God bless Chadwick
Chadwick Boseman, yeah.
Boseman. We all knew that what happened to him happened, and they sort of brought that into the movie like as a normal thing that happened in the movie, and then we all sort of knew that Suri was gonna take
Take up the mantle,
take up the
yeah.
mantle in some form, because I mean she's the last child sibling. Well, what's the word to use? Like child sibling, whatever.
Last heir, maybe.
Yeah, last heir
yeah.
for the family, and it would make sense for Suri to take it on, even though she doesn't follow tradition.
Yeah.
Even though she's like
A bit
complete
rebellious in that.
which
yeah.
is also really cool for like
character development.
yeah.
She
is the opposite of everything, but it would be nice to see how she builds Wakanda like in
Exactly,
her
yeah.
own thing. But my goodness,
It's great,
like
right?
Wakanda Forever is just like no offense to the first one. I watched the first one. I mean, it felt like The Lion King.
Yeah, first one was
Cool, but I
it was alright, but like I don't think it was the best.
like yeah, I feel like it was cool. It was a nice origin.
Then again, it's subjective. Like for
yeah.
if
Like,
it's
it was-
great
it
for
was
you,
nice.
it's great.
I mean, you watched the first one. I mean, I watched the first one, but I was never like, I'll watch
Blown
that again.
away, yeah.
I mean, like, I'll watch that again. Wakanda Forever.
I'm
I
definitely
literally
watching it.
sat there and I was like, I could watch this 3 or 4 times.
Fair,
and
fair.
it will still blow my mind. Like the cinematography, the build, the character development.
Yeah.
Like if we had to not compare it, but if we look at Nampo and his character development in the movie, and we compare it to Thor, God of Thunder. What's the homie's name? Christian Bale's character.
Go.
Compared to Gore.
Yeah. You
Like,
see,
it's miles
that's
apart, like
hun-
worlds apart.
While I'm watching this movie, that's my exact thought. I'm like, this is such a compelling, like, essentially in this movie, Nemo's a villain,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even though he's an anti-villain, he's not an anti-villain. He's like an anti-hero. Sometimes he's a villain, sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes,
Yeah.
He's like a Deadpool. No, that's a terrible
That's-
example. But, sorry. But, like, I'm like, you understand his reasoning. You see where he's coming from. You can sympathize. So it boils down to I can't remember who said this or where I heard this from, but like a hero is only as good as his villains. That's why
That's true.
Batman is such a great hero because
Because he's
his
got
rogues gallery
wild.
is great.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is such an interesting character because of his rogues gallery.
Yeah.
So what gave this movie its impact is that you can sympathize with the villain.
And oh, I don't want to
You
spoil.
see,
Is it a spoil?
what?
I was gonna speak about um, Namor and Wakanda.
I don't think so.
Okay, so it like as you mentioned, like a hero is only as good as his villains,
Yeah,
and there's some attachment to both of them because Wakanda is this country that the Black Panther runs and like,
yeah,
does all of these things for
Yeah.
them and like uplifts the whole thing, and Namor does the same thing for his country in
It's
some form. Like, yes, he may be the villain, but he's doing the right thing for his people.
yes,
Black Panther might be doing the same thing, but he's doing the right thing for his people.
100%.
And there was a bit of like subliminal. What did she call the white people?
The colonizers.
The colonizers. There was some of that, but it wasn't like in your face, like this is what's happening.
It's
It was
yeah,
just, it's a superhero movie, and it's
yeah.
amazing.
It's right. So I wanted to say before, also going into this movie, I feel like it was very difficult. I think as fans, as the cast and crew of this movie, Marvel Studios themselves, going into this after the passing of Chadwick Boseman, it's how do you tread this water? Pun intended, I guess, for Namor. But like you're dealing with a person's death. Sorry, you caught the joke there.
You're off like 5 hours.
I know. That was a terrible one. But like you're dealing with something that's very tricky, you know. And I know Ryan Coogler, the director, said initially before even Chadwick passed, he wanted this to be a movie about grief, and because with that 5 year blip
Interesting, yeah.
and like the ramifications and how people, and you do get a sense of that with Lupita's character. I forgot her name now, but
Interesting.
I think the way they balance this movie with the emotional weight of it,
Yeah.
introduction of Namor and I forgot the Talonians or something because they changed the name from Atlantis to
Oh yeah, that his people.
yes,
Yeah,
because which I kind of like the change. I know a lot of people aren't too happy or weren't too happy with
the change.
like the Aztec design of
But I feel like it
Namor.
works also for him
I enjoyed, yeah.
because yeah, like he even in the comics, he and his people, like not that they rule the ocean, but they have a world of knowledge,
Exactly.
regardless of whatever. And it would make sense for the Mayans. How, I mean, are we giving too much away at this moment?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, you
for
can
like
kind of see,
the
yeah.
Mayans to like have that knowledge and just build on that. Like, oh my goodness, Chad. I mean, we can I can speak about this movie for a very long time.
Yeah, no,
like
me too.
There were multiple things that stood out to me, but as you mentioned, it was the emotional ride that they took us on, and it's the same director as the previous one, right?
Yeah, Ryan Coogler.
It was
yeah.
nice to see that. Yes, he did the Black Panther before. There was all of these other things, but it also still brought in this emotion. It also brought in a different
Exactly.
character. It also brought in like different people along with it.
Exactly.
And also, like, if we had to compare the first one to the second one, which you shouldn't be doing anyway,
Yeah.
but I'm comparing it to like in Black Panther, the music cast, like there was always like this like jingle that
Oh, yes,
was
yes,
playing
yes,
in
yes.
the background for like when Black Panther walked into the room or when there was like a plan happening.
Yes.
This sort of had the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's a completely different like play on the
Yeah,
like feel on the music for
The
different.
music composition in this is really, really good. It's really,
I mean,
so just on Ryan Coogler again, I think he actually fought. A couple times he was like, no, listen, y'all don't touch Namor. I need this character. And for this,
I give him props for that.
I'm like, dude, and I can see why.
I give you that. It's
I
worth it.
can see why. This is the best. Well, okay, best is reaching a bit, but like this is an extremely good introduction of a character.
Yeah.
So there's two things going into this movie. There's two things I wanted. How are they going to like balance or deal with Chadwick Boseman's death? Because I know when that happened, what?
I mean, something just blew my mind.
Okay. So
Continue.
let me get this out quick. So how are they gonna deal with that in a very tasteful and respectful way, because it is very difficult. Because I know when
Mhm.
that happened, the world was divided. Do you recast T'Challa? Do you
Yeah.
like do you just kind of like pass the mantle onto
Yeah.
Shuri? And I feel like the way they handled that in this movie is excellent.
Yeah.
Is really, really excellent, and I love that. And the second thing I wanted was Namor, the characterization of Namor.
Mm.
I needed him to just not like again. Like Gore is an extremely in-depth character.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, you sympathize, you understand
Yeah.
his actions and why he's doing it. Is
Yeah.
he's trying to protect his people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we got from this movie, and I
Yeah.
love it. I love Namor.
Yeah.
I love Namor in
I'll
this
give you
movie.
that.
Damn.
Yo. So the thing that just blew
Yeah,
my
well, yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
What's the director's name again?
Excuse me. Ryan Coogler.
So Ryan Coogler is African American, right?
Yes.
So what blew my mind is, and why he probably fought. I could be wrong. He could tell me. I don't know if he would. But
just hit him in the
like,
DMs.
he selected Namor, and why he fought for Namor was like, think of like African Americans. Well, not even African Americans, like Africa.
Yeah.
And Wakanda, like we all, like people always want our resources, and all
Yeah.
these other things. And then
Fair.
he took Namor, who was Mayan and Mexican,
Yeah.
which sort of has the same, like they sort of have the same thing because they have resources, and it was like
Fair.
a whole. It's a culture thing.
It is a
Because
culture thing.
he knows the culture for African Americans, and then he probably got somebody in, or he knew that the Mexican people were straight with. It's just,
It's
I mean,
yeah.
that's a very interesting like
This-
cultural vibe happening. which is-
Exactly. Yeah.
it's nice. It's not like hectic, but it's cool.
This is the same kind of like thing. Same aspect I love about comic books is that there is some political. I won't say political agenda, but there's some political stance in these stories, right? Sometimes it can be a bit too on the nose, and you're like, "Ish, bruh, okay, come on," you know. And sometimes it's just done really well, and I
Yeah.
feel like in this instance, it's done excellent.
Yeah. Also, I don't want anybody to feel that that was the main focus of the movie, because in the end, it's still action.
Yeah, no, there's
Like
a lot of
super,
action.
It's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, that just blew my mind. Now
Yeah.
it's just like, whoa, that could have been cool. But it like
It's not
still-
as on the nose as like it's
What a
very
great movie.
subtle. It's very subtle, and like you were explaining, like Namor protects his land, and you know the same
Same,
with the Black
yeah.
Panther. If you put up, I think also it's like if you put two of the same people in the same room, sooner or later they're gonna butt heads because there's these similarities. Because it's like Namor, Black Panther. It's like
they're the same. Yeah.
exactly. They're both trying to protect their people, and I think that's shown really well in this movie. But like you say, it's not just that political agenda. I don't know. That just sounds a bit too harsh, but
Yeah.
it's very subtle in this movie.
Yeah.
It's very, very subtle because it's, for me, that's why I say this movie is perfectly balanced between the emotion
And everything else.
and
yeah.
and the action as well. You get those really great action scenes and those really good emotional scenes. One critique, though, from my end,
Yeah.
I would have loved to see more of the I'm gonna call them Atlanteans, though they're not Atlanteans in the movie. I would have loved to see a little bit. Like, yes, we got some Namor and where he came from, and the fact is like, I'm a mutant. I'm like, yes, you are, sir. Yes, you are.
Yeah, actually, it would have been nice to see some more of the Atlanteans.
Just because,
and,
like, you had those two kind of like
Generals,
yeah, and they seem like really cool characters. It's like
Yeah.
it's like M'Baku, for instance. I love M'Baku.
Yeah.
He's got such a presence to him, and this like last scene in this movie, I was like, okay, I love what this is setting up. Like I do feel like there are these like I won't call them side characters, but supporting characters.
Yeah.
That are super complex and
and well
super
cast
important.
for each of their roles.
Exactly.
Oh.
I would love a Disney Plus series for M'Baku, actually.
Actually, I wouldn't mind that
Right?
as well, just to see what could come from that.
So yeah, I think that would like be my only critique. I would have loved to see a little bit more of the Atlanteans.
You know, the scientists that they spoke about. So like in the movie, there's the scientist. I'm not going to explain more than that. There's the scientist. You know who I thought the scientist was?
Who?
You know in Fantastic Four, the little girl with the glasses that has the T-Rex?
Oh, Moon Girl.
I thought it was Moon Girl. I looked at it and I was like, is this Moon Girl? Could this be? I was like, what is happening right now? It sort of
That would have
works
been cool, actually.
because I was like,
that would have been really cool, actually. Yeah.
Moon Girl's like a badass.
But yeah, like they needed a way to bring in Riri Williams, which I mean, it's not a spoiler. You know, she was coming. I do feel she wasn't as her presence wasn't really felt too much in this movie. I think that's because you have Shuri and Namor, and then like everyone's personalities are quite high. So I think she did get lost, but I know she is getting a Disney Plus series.
I could watch that.
And I think Ryan Coogler said that no, it's a direct sequel.
Ooh, I could watch that. That'll be cool.
So I think that'll be her moment to shine. I think that'll be really, really nice as well. Yeah,
I could watch that.
Any last thoughts on Wakanda Forever?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only thing that I would suggest is that obviously you
go watch it.
Go watch it.
Just go watch it.
Make sure that you take a large popcorn and an extra large slushie.
Actually, don't do the large slushie. Halfway through, you can be like, oh, goodness, I need to go.
Pee before, you'll be fine. But definitely go watch the movie, and it would be great to hear what you guys think of.
I think this is this is a good way, because I know people aren't feeling Phase 4. I know this movie closes all Phase 4. Many projects like Thor: Love and Thunder, that's not the greatest, but like I do feel like this is a nice conclusion. I keep saying, like, even though people are not feeling Phase 4, I feel like this is a transitional setup period. It's like those weird two issues between between arcs where it's like, what the hell's going on here? You know?
I also think the Wakanda and Black Panther are always seems like it's its own run. Or like its own thing happening within Wakanda rather than, because like in some of the superhero movies, like it will dabble in somebody else, it'll bring in different elements. Yes. But this just feels like it's Wakanda, and it just feels like it's Black Panther that we're focusing on for however.
The world building.
I mean,
of it,
which is, I mean, it's great.
It's
like
really
it was a nice way
great,
to, as you said, end it like Phase 4 to see what will come from the next few.
So speaking of like ending of Phase 4, Phase 5 kicks off with Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, which we got a tease. You're not keen on Ant-Man, but listen,
I'll still watch it, but I'm not gonna be happy while I watch it.
Fair. I mean, to be honest, I only watched Ant-Man and Wasp sometime this year, and I think the movie's like 2-3. That came out in between Infinity War and Endgame. Right?
You asking me, but I haven't even watched.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, I watched Ant-Man, and that was cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it's like picking up a comic book run, and then you were like,
it's
not for me.
To be fair,
I'll watch it just because it like ties in with certain things.
So.
But I mean, there's no bad beef. I mean, it's not for me.
So the only kind of like takeaway from Quantumania, though, Ant-Man and Wasp is not the greatest movie. So this is introducing, we get our first kind of look at Kang.
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah, I could play with that.
That's why this movie is important. So you see Kang.
I could play with that, yeah.
So the teaser is like really cool. You see so they get sucked into, what's the dimension where Van Dyne was in? Never mind. So quantum realm. So they go into the quantum realm, whatever the case may, get sucked in, and then that's where we get introduction of Kang. And so I'm curious to see where that's gonna play out. Yeah, I mean, especially Jonathan Majors as Kang. He killed it as he remained in Loki. So yeah. Also the takeaway from this. So you get to see kind of like some of the machines and like the city rising and ships and all that. Similarities though. And I've seen a lot of people point this out. There's these rings. And then Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
Oh yeah. So
the ending, Wong was like, it's sending out a signal, but to who? And then you still get Miss Marvel with the bracelet.
Yeah.
Right? So the markings are similar in these rings.
Very cool.
So I do feel like, I'm excited. So that's the only reason why I'm psyched for this movie. Is Kang and the kind of setup for Kang Dynasty and how that's gonna turn out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence. You're gonna have your opinion.
Listen, we'll watch it and see
Yeah,
what's
like
up.
regardless, I'll catch up on Ant-Man and Wasp Girl, Wasp Woman.
Oh yeah, well, I think it's just
Um,
Wasp. Yeah.
and I'll see from there because, I mean, can never say no. Especially,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but like sticking to movies though. So it was a couple. We didn't do a pod last week, but like 2 weeks ago, it was announced Peter Safran and James Gunn will be the new Kevin Feige's of DC.
Oh,
And to add to that, right? Add
Continue,
to
yeah.
that, right? Because I know you're pretty psyched. Because James Gunn has done really great work with Guardians of the Galaxy, the second Suicide Squad, because that first one was wow. Peacemaker was great. To add to this, I think that sometime this week he tweeted out a picture of Lobo, and Jason Momoa was like, no, he's excited for Peter Safran and James Gunn to be heading up DC Films because potential for him to work on a dream project.
Now you understand my excitement.
I get you now.
I mean, there's always been this controversy, whatever we would call it. There's always been this thing with DC and how average their movies are. Like the Batman, we can exclude Batman from.
Oh, Batman was great.
We can exclude it from the DC universe because they've always done a good job with.
It's his own self-contained thing.
With in the DC.
Yeah.
Superman had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
The Justice League is like also still like
that
like the
Doomsday.
DC universe is just like
it's
like
it's
up in air, and we just are like, what are you giving us?
Yeah.
Like Black Adam, I would like getting The Rock in to play Black Adam was like the perfect person that you could put into that role, just because he's massive and he would suit Black Adam. And then there's just been a world of and normal people, individuals, not normal people, but us as individuals that critique it the same.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary and sad because let me tell you, like, I pick up a lot of Marvel comics.
Marvel comics, yeah.
But my love is always been with DC.
Okay,
like,
I get that. Yeah.
Like the Batman runs are amazing. The Superman runs are amazing. Action Comics is also a vibe. Detective Comics is a vibe. The Nice House on the Lake is also a vibe. Like
the actual things, events, like, even like, and we'll discuss it when we get into what's it call order. Yeah, but like the events are yeah.
Like even the events and how they build on different things, and like Marvel. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them and what they've done.
Yeah.
Like they also have the events, they also have it, but sometimes DC does it completely different. Be like, we don't need to have a tie-in for everything. We don't need to do this. Let's just create a world, and then that'll be your world,
enjoy,
and then that'll be fine. And then it doesn't have to tie into anything. It doesn't have to be a run with Batman. It doesn't have to be. It's just there. And it would be like nice to have, like, as we get in with the Marvel universe, a DC like wild metaverse universe thing where it's just like mind-blowing chaos.
Listen, I think
just
awesomeness.
DC superheroes.
I think I'm okay with them because I know they've been going through a lot of changes in terms of, like, I think Discovery bought Warner Brothers and all that stuff. So, and they have like a 10-year plan. They're canceling. They canceled Batgirl. Batgirl movie. The Flash with Ezra Miller is still greenlit, but
he's dangerous.
He's wild. But I think the reason why they're keeping this movie is because they're gonna approach it as like the Flashpoint, as like okay, we need to reset this universe.
That'll be nice, yeah.
You see, so I think that's why they're holding on to this movie, which is great. But I'm okay with like simple, like build up stories. I don't mind. Like just take your time. And the thing is, James Gunn is really good. If you look at what he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy, the Suicide Squad, he handles action and humor really well. So yeah, James Gunn tells a really great story, and I do have my trust is in him. And I also think like it's quite exciting because you're taking a character, you're teasing Lobo, you know, and I do feel that fits more of Jason Momoa's Like,
Like
Aquaman is cool.
Yeah.
But I do feel like Lobo fits him a bit better.
Like Jason Momoa as Lobo
Right?
will actually be insane. Just to see Lobo destroy Superman,
Right?
I'll literally just stand there and eat ice cream and be like, ho 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 ho.
This is what I need.
Yeah, that'll be very nice to see.
Yeah, no. So, I mean,
It's
I'm
a
all
great-
hold out. I'm excited to see what James Gunn. I have trust in him. But yeah, it's
like,
exciting to see.
I think, as you mentioned, like if they, like, take your time.
Yeah,
Like, flip, if we only see this in 2 or 3 years,
it's
I mean,
okay.
It's okay. Like,
It's all right. Yeah,
so long as you made a great movie and you like, it was just insane.
exactly.
It's fine. Like,
exactly.
I'll wait for 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
Like, like as you would wait for a game, you wait like 5 or 6 years or 8 years for the next thing.
Fair.
You know?
Yeah. If you look at it, the comparisons are terrible. Never, like, I try not to compare, but like if you look at phase 1 of the MCU, they were wild. Continuity loopholes and not loopholes.
Oh
but,
yeah,
like,
because
plot
it was,
holes.
like, things were bleeding, and you just sat and you were like, what?
There was no like concise. There was like, oh look, it'd be cool to tease this, but we don't know where it's actually going. And
Yeah.
now that they've solidified that, they've built a fan base, it's there. You know? So they can be like, okay, cool, let's do this, and I think
There's
it'll work out
also
well.
like a lot of potential in the DC universe for,
Exactly, yeah.
for their creative team, because if you like looking at Dark Crisis, like just imagine you got a DC vibe
Right?
movie as like Dark Crisis, where you just sit there and you're like,
Wow.
whoa, it's
So-
like watching the Lord of the Rings, but it really isn't.
So speaking of Dark Crisis, I'm jump in the call order.
I think I just want to announce one thing.
Okay, cool.
Within the last 2 weeks, I know this is separate from comic books, but
It's geekery.
God of War Ragnarok got
Ragnarok.
released. Well, it got released a while ago for those of you that got pre-release, pre-ordered. But my goodness,
Some good stuff.
I've been waiting. I think it's been for 2016 they released the first one.
Don't lie.
Or something, like it was way back then. And that game is still gold.
The first one.
Still gold. I've played it multiple times.
Oh yeah.
I've finished it multiple times. At one point, I've finally killed the Valkyrie Queen.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but okay.
But like you go on this, like, it's a side mission where you kill the different Valkyries.
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
you steal their armor, and then you build it, and then you make the Valkyrie Queen, and then you have to fight the Valkyrie Queen.
How
It
Kratos
is
of this game.
The hardest thing
I can imagine.
ever.
Yeah.
Ever. It is so flippin' hard. But when you do it, you literally feel like a pure god. You're like, I've achieved what I came to achieve.
Are you not entertained?
And then recently, I replayed God of War again, and then I played it on
Okay,
Games
yeah.
Plus for like most people. That it's just you would play it on hard, and then
Yeah,
Games
yeah.
Plus just makes it,
Extra hard.
yeah, basically.
Oh goodness. Okay.
And guys, let me tell you, I have literally not taken my axe and hit anybody. I've just used my fists, and I feel like
Oh, wild.
pure. I was like,
I'm
this
a
is what I
brute.
came for. It's amazing, yeah. And then there's also been Arkham Knights, which is getting like ups and downs.
Yeah, a lot of people are on the fence
but-
about that. Yeah.
I mean, I still feel like I would like to play it to
Okay.
judge it, because I mean, I enjoyed the other Arkham series.
Yeah. Hey, let
That'd
us
be nice.
know.
Yeah.
We'll maybe do some game reviews
Yeah,
on the
that'd be a
channel.
vibe.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let us know if that's something you'd like to know. But
Yeah.
I just thought I should put God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah,
on-
no,
on
because
blast.
this past week, that's what my timeline has been: Wakanda Forever and Ragnarok, and it looks great.
Ragnarok. If you pay attention to the critics and the crit scores that everybody's, it's just been tense everywhere, and I just think I'm like, yeah, this is the game of the
Yeah.
year. Like,
So-
I
so
know
ju-
Elden Ring was great.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but God of War. If you played it when I was a kid in like the early 2000s,
Yeah.
when you played the first one,
Fair, yeah.
you were just like,
You were amazed. Yeah.
like like as a kid, I remember I loved Greek mythology because of
Yes.
like weird things.
It's like
you get
Percy
Medusa-
Jackson out at that time as well. Like
Ye-
the movie.
No,
Was it? No.
that came a bit after.
Oh, look at me with my continuity issues.
Like, I just loved Greek mythology, like ancient Greek mythology, like knowing that there's Hercules, no, like Zeus was this wild thing,
Oh
and then
yeah,
when you
yeah.
play God of War and you just like wrecked everybody, it just felt even better.
I think what I really enjoy, because like you talk about Greek mythology, and then with this new, I think it's like PS4, PS5 games, they're dealing with Norse mythology. Now you get introduction of like Thor, Loki, and all that. So I
Oh
think
man,
it's really nice. It's
and
a
the nostalgia.
nice, right? It's nostalgic, and also there are other like deities and gods for you to kind of expand this game,
Yeah,
this universe
which
in,
is cool, and you
which is
learn.
dope, which is really really cool.
Like I remember going back onto God of War when I played the first one. The nostalgia I got,
Yeah.
Chad. Oh, the nostalgia I got. There was the I think something happened, or like Loki got sick, and then he went into the. It's can't be spoilers. It's like 6 years now, guys. Come on. I'm joking.
Oh, is this for the first one?
Yeah, for the first one.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
like he goes back, and then he needs to save like his son, whatever, Loki, and then he goes back to the house, and then he gets the blades of chaos, and then I was like, I can't
He still has those.
can't with this.
That's
At one
fire.
point, I actually dropped my controller and I started screaming. I was like, oh, this is why I'm here. I'll never forget that scene in my
Oh, that's
entire
boss.
life. Like when he went back and got the Blades of Chaos, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just gonna destroy. This is the button smashing that I was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
made for.
Was
Square triangle, square triangle. Oh,
Oh, that's
yeah.
fire. Yeah, no. So let us know if you've been jamming God of War, Ragnarok,
Just
or
don't
even if it's
spoil.
the old ones. Let us know your thoughts. Share
Yeah.
them. We want to know. We want to know.
Always keen.
All right. Call order.
Yeah.
All right. So I think
in.
what do you want to tackle first? Should we tackle Judgment Day? Because that kind of has ended.
Yeah, I
somewhat
mean,
now.
let's do Judgment Day.
Okay. Are you caught up with it?
I mean, I've not really caught up, but I understand the crux
You
of
understand,
it. Like,
yeah.
like I know what's happening in
All
Judgment
right.
Day.
So let me.
I've not. I wouldn't say I've tapped out of it. I
Okay.
just feel like, yo,
Yeah. No. All right. So let me break this down quickly. So I think going into this, I was fatigued, event fatigued.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
like if you look at it, we had Inferno, which is a 4 issue from Jonathan Hickman, December, Jan.
oh yeah, Inferno, yeah, sorry,
Straight after
And
that,
Inferno
we
was
got 10
wild.
lives, 10 deaths of
yeah,
Wolverine,
which
which
was
and then I'll bring a fact up now, and then we got this, which is the big summer event, which is fine. But so now the A.X.E Judgment Day was kind of marketed as, oh, Eternals are going after the X or the mutants because they are deviants. Yeah,
and
sorry,
they have to
deviants.
be
Yeah,
judged because also they've been resurrecting each other. and
kind
it's
of
like,
thing. Yeah. So this new resurrection is like what's make them now they eternal, now they deviants. So okay, fine.
chill. Like it was
My
something that we could enjoy.
exactly.
We were
Yeah. I
like,
mean, it's an
"Ooh,
X Men.
someone's challenging the X Men."
Exactly, and I'm kind of like I'm all in on this Krakoa era. So, I mean, initially the event kicked off. It's like, oh, okay, cool. It's not too bad. It's fine. What? Goodness. Sorry. So the conclusion of this,
Yeah.
I read issue 6. I haven't read the Omega issue. I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is
What is the
not
Omega
an
issue? What is the Omega issue?
It's like just dealing with the after kind of thing. You
Okay.
know, that's how you got the day before.
What is the cover? Sorry, I'm just trying to.
No,
see
I
my-
think it's Icarus and
Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen
yeah,
it.
they're
that's
like
fine.
falling or
Yeah.
something. So it's not
I
really.
don't know if I'll pick up the Omega.
No,
Anyway,
I'll pick it up because I have
You-
OCD and
yeah, to
I
finish
need
the
to
run.
complete that. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is not a X-Men or Avengers event. This is solely focused on the Eternals, which brings me to the point. So, I did a whole binge read because I didn't read Dan Slott's Reckoning War. Because I was like, okay, cool, it's gonna come out like in drips and drabs. I don't want to read in drips and drabs. I'd rather collect it and do a binge read. All right, that was the event that Dan Slott's been building up to. I think since 2007 or something. From his She-Hulk run to like little Easter eggs.
Oh,
And
yeah?
it finally happened. I
remember
enjoyed it. It was lots of fun. It's an event that didn't have any other tie-ins.
nice.
Solely Fantastic Four. It had an Omega issue. Sorry, an alpha issue, which is like
Yeah,
it's
the
like
beginning.
introduction type thing. It had one shot tie-in which is Trial of the Watcher,
That's nice. Yeah.
which isn't like if you don't read it, it's fine. You don't need it.
It's not gonna.
And I feel like, and then you got, I think it's maybe 5 to 6 issues of Fantastic Four dealing with this kind of the Reckoning War. That I feel is what A.X.E Judgment Day should have been.
I agree with that statement.
It should have been
Very much
labeled
so.
as Eternals Judgment Day. Strictly Eternals. Yes, maybe have tie-ins, because this is the problem I have with this event is it's 6 issues, right? You now already it's 6 issues. That's A.X.E Judgment Day.
And then it's like
Then it's
almost every property of.
but exactly. So
Marvel.
between each, so you got issue 1 that came out. Between these 2 issues, you have like at least 5 tie-ins from different. You got a Marauders tie-in, you got an X-Men Red tie-in, you got an X-Men tie-in,
Got Wolverine tie.
you got a Wolverine tie-in,
X-
and I'm like, and the problem is because I'm picking up all these titles, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm trying to pick all this up to get the full story, and it's like I feel kind of like.
It's also a bit overwhelming. Not overwhelming.
It's extremely overwhelming.
It's overwhelming because it's like, damn, I need this to
Exactly,
complete the run,
yeah.
kind of a thing, and it's just,
And now you're stressing because you got to read it in order because.
and then when you read it, it's nothing to do with the
Exactly. That's what's irritating the hell out of me. I'm like, dog,
why.
I could have skipped this event and it wouldn't have changed my life. It wouldn't have changed anything.
I mean, I say to you, like, I'm like, I went to the comic book store today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm really excited. I've got the
Exactly,
jitters, whatever.
yeah.
I'm like, can't wait to read.
Sorry, if I kill that excitement, I apologize.
No, it's fine. I'm really excited to read. But I was saying to you when I like walked in, I was like, actually, I said to the guys at the store,
Yeah.
I was like, I know you guys have 6. I'm gonna pick up 6 as well, and they were like, cool, it's fine. And
Yeah.
I was like, are you sure that 6 is the last run? And he was like, yeah, I'll probably say at the end. I was like, thank God that it's
Yeah.
the last, because like it tired me out to a point
Yeah.
where I'm like, there's so many events, but there's still like 300 other things happening. But the
Exactly,
reason
yeah.
I picked up the run was because I'm the guy that
yeah.
can't say no to a Mark Brooks cover.
That's also how you
Like,
got me. You got this
damn.
fantastic, and you know what the problem is. So the event itself it's okay. The problem also that I have is that the tie-ins, so X-Men Red tie-ins, goodness, that is an extremely good book.
Yeah, it is actually.
It's the Immortal X-Men. So there's a piece that happens between 5 and 6, the ending of 5 with Nightcrawler. So Immortal X-Men issue 7 kind of shows the ins and outs of that. Phenomenal, really great. You know, I would have been fine with that to be a tie-in, but like you don't need to tie in everything else. While this also like that's what I'm saying. Like while this event is going on, Jerry Duggan's X-Men. There was 2, so he had 2 tie-in issues, which, it's basically Cyclops telling Celestial, nah, B, don't judge me. Don't make me come back here. That was it. That was the entire, like, that was the judge. That was the crux
That was
of
the
that
whole
issue. I was like,
That's
dog,
nonsense.
really? Now, while this event is still going on, another 2 issues came out where Jerry Duggan is dealing with Children of the Vault. Nothing to do. The event's still going on. Nothing to do with the event. 1,000 times better. 1,000 times better.
Okay, that's not bad. I
Yeah.
thought it was just gonna be like another. What am I reading? Like, why?
No.
Why are you making me read
Ooh,
this?
so Jerry Duggan picked up the Jonathan Hickman plot of because remember Sync got out of the vault. Laura Kinney didn't make it. So they're like, hey, we got a mutant in there. Darwin is still in there. We need to go back for him. They go back for him. I don't know if you've read it. Oof.
Let's go down.
What? Those 2 issues. What amazing issues. And the cliffhanger, I think it's issue 16 or something. Wow. What a cliffhanger.
Okay.
But okay, so just kind of like moving on to Dark Crisis. On a happier note.
Yeah.
On a happier note, because Dark Crisis is an actual event I'm thoroughly enjoying.
I agree with you on that side, but hey, like you're not fatigued from
You're
like
not.
the other runs. like I recently just like binged the not Dark Crisis,
The lead up to Dark
yeah, the
Crisis,
lead up to Dark Crisis.
Infinite Frontier, and Justice League Incarnate.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've picked up all of those and I've like read it, and it doesn't feel like, it feels like I actually want to read the next one. I want to read the next one. I'm like, this is cool. This is a vibe, and it's just like Dark Crisis is just doing different things, and it's
It's really good. I think the structure of the way, or not structure, but the strategy of the way Dark Crisis was set out is like, is you got this miniseries. I think it's 6 issues of Infinite Frontier. Okay, that's done. Oh, it kind of leads. It opens up, sets up stuff. Oh, now you got a 6 or 7 issue miniseries of Justice League Incarnate. No other tie-ins. And now you got the actual, I think it's 7 issues of Dark Crisis.
Yeah.
So there are tie-ins to this. So essentially, it's Superman. I can't remember the name, but it's a Superman and Swamp Thing. That is the only essential one. Yeah, that's the only essential one. It's not even like essential.
You can just read it. You can just pick it up and read it.
Yeah, even if you don't read it, it's not like you're gonna be completely lost.
Yeah.
And then there's the Dark Crisis worlds without the Justice League, and then it's isolated to Superman, Green Arrow, blah 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 blah, which is really cool. But like, I got halfway through the Superman one, I was like, I'm not reading these.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check out on this because already I'm fatigued from Judgment Day. I'm checking out on these tie-ins, and you can literally read these 7 issues of Dark Crisis and get the story.
Yeah, 100%. Like it goes back to, remember I said a few times, like, if you want to pick up a comic and you just want to read, you can start with like you could start with a one shot, but if you start in a series, you can literally just pick up a specific thing. And Dark Crisis
it's a good starting point. Yeah,
you could be lost a little bit, but it still explains it enough for you to be like, okay, cool, the Justice League is dead.
Exactly.
This is what's happened. And then it builds its own story.
Exactly.
It's like a series. It's building on like a
with Infinite Frontier and Justice League Incarnate, as well as Dark Crisis. So those 3 miniseries, you can tell there are references to like the old 60s stuff, old like JSA, Justice League Justice Society of America stuff. And like, even though I've never read those books, or like, I think the only Crisis I've read is Death Metal. I've never read Infinite Crisis. Don't attack me for it, but like, I haven't read those. I don't know.
It's also fine.
It's perfect. Like, you tell that they're referencing something, but you don't feel like, okay, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
True. And if anything, this event has kind of piqued my interest because one of the characters that's throughout these 3 miniseries is Alan Scott. I've never read anything with Alan Scott. It's the Green Lantern with the cape.
Neither have I.
But he's such an interesting character, which I'm excited for because I know Jeff Johns did a one shot. I think it's the new Justice Society of America. So with that, right? So follow me, stick with me. You had The Watchmen, right, by Alan Moore. Jeff Johns wrote the sequel.
Oh, we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah. So Jeff Johns wrote the sequel to Watchmen, right? Which is Doomsday Clock.
I really want to read Doomsday Clock because I haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah, so maybe we'll cover it once you read it. We'll cover it for Comic Book Club. So essentially, what Doomsday Clock was meant to be is Dark Crisis. Was meant to kind of fix up continuity issues, create a clean slate, and then going forward, we're going to have this era of DC Comics or the DCU. So I think there was a falling out between Jeff Johns and DC Comics. And then he was like, peace, I'm out. And now they brought him back. So the reason why I'm saying this is because with the way Doomsday Clock ended, it ended on such a, give me more, you know? I know that, like, you set up something great.
Yeah.
And then nothing for, I think, maybe 3-4 years now. I think Doomsday Clock came out maybe 2017. Yeah, 20. I think it ended maybe 2019. Right? So about 3 years or so, there's nothing. But now with this one shot, Jeff Johns, so I know there was some Easter eggs or something in his Batman Beyond miniseries. But I didn't read that, but it's fine. Again, it's one of those things you don't. If you haven't read it, it's fine. You're not lost. But I would encourage to like read Watchmen, Doomsday Clock, this one shot. Because what this one shot does is it sets up two different series, Stargirl and something, which I'm not really interested in, and then I think it's the new Justice Society of America, where it's dealing. So in this one shot, and this is what's great about Doomsday Clock. I've read Doomsday Clock maybe 3-4 times now, and it's dealing with dimensions, like different dimensional stuff, as well as time.
It's not.
So you're gonna confuse me with that. I'm super confused.
I was about to say, like, it's not too confusing, or it's just like
I'm super confused.
yeah. But it still sounds like something.
It's intriguing.
Yeah.
Though. It's good writing.
Yeah.
And that's what this one shot did. In this one shot, you're dealing with past, present, and future, setting up all these characters, setting
That's
up all
nice.
these like setting up the story.
Yeah.
I'm here for it, man. I am here for it. So
I'm keen for that actually.
Oh man, it's
I'll
gonna be
pick
so
it up
nice.
once it comes through.
Yeah, I think it's
like I'll
launching
probably
in December.
catch up, but I'll
Yeah.
100% pick it up because it seems like something that
No, it's definitely
would
something
intrigue
we
me.
could vibe with. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. What else? What else have we read this week? Nothing.
I mean,
really,
I've
right?
been man down with
With-
not
with
man
it.
down, but I just
I
haven't.
mean,
had
you've been
the
busy.
chance,
Yeah.
but I'm still keen to like pick up everything that I got today. I'm keen for obviously Ram V because I left it alone.
Yes.
Excuse me. I left Detective Comics alone until I could get the paperback.
Yeah. Until
For
yeah.
Ram V because I know it's gonna blow my mind. Like I read
No, definitely.
2 or 3 pages online and I was like, I need to keep this for paperback. I want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
smell the paper. I want to do everything right.
Crack
so
open that bag, waft
Yeah.
the paper.
There is Wildcats that also came out.
Yeah, no.
Or like the new run of Wildcats.
Yeah, no. I think also because we've kind of discussed how to kind of get into comic books. So we'll kind of like point out like, oh, if you interested in this, this is a good jumping on point. So
Yeah.
like we said with Dark Crisis, it's a good like jumping on point. Wildcats is a new number 1. It's a 90s team. I think created by Jim Lee. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, neither have I. It'll be. I'm quite keen to pick it up just because I remember watching the TV series.
Cartoon, or TV series or cartoon?
Cartoon. I mean, yeah, either.
Yeah, one of those two.
The cartoon. I remember watching it, and it was something I would.
Yeah,
like,
something
read
you
as a
enjoy.
comic book. It would
I
be
mean,
nice to
it
see.
seems like a fun bunch of like characters. You know, I mean, I'm a big fan of Grifter. I won't say big fan, but I'm a fan of Grifter. Grifter's a really cool character. You know, I love his design. So yeah, that's a number 1 if you're interested.
In sad and good news on my side, I dropped Hulk. Nothing bad about that.
I mean,
I couldn't.
it's
any
never
longer.
good when you have to drop a book because you can't really.
Yeah,
You're not enjoying
like,
it.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
but I'm also like I couldn't continue,
Fair,
which is
fair,
fine.
fair. It's kind of like the Doctor Doom series that came out in 2018. No, 2019. I was like, ooh,
Was that average?
it was the
And
most
Doom is
disappointing.
wild. What do you mean?
I love Doctor Doom. He's one of my. It's not
Lord
my
Doom. It's not Doctor Doom. It's Lord Doom.
Lord Doom.
Get it right,
God Doom.
young sir.
Like Doctor Doom is one of my top 5 favorite characters. Right? Solo series.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Count me in. You summon
Doom,
me.
you can't
I'm
stuff up
in.
Doom. He's
Dog,
wild.
I made it. So usually how I kind of gauge it is the first arc, first 6 to 7 issues. After that, if you don't have me, you don't have me, bro.
Fair. I should actually follow that.
By the 7th issue, I was like, nah, B, I'm out.
I'm reaching.
I'm out. The nice thing about this is, and not even like all the covers is nice. Only cover 1. Oh, dude, I was
That's
so mad.
even worse.
Oh,
so then
dude,
you
I was
have
so
like this.
I was so mad. I was like, no,
Sauce,
no,
bro.
no. Hey man, you win some, you lose some. That's the name of the game of collecting, no?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's been.
Yeah, no, I think we've pretty
I don't
much
think there's that much.
ranted about. Listen, comic books are fun. Don't let us
Like,
stray
say
you
anything
off
else,
the
like,
path. Yeah,
Try it, as he said. Like maybe keep it for the until like run 6 to 7.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel comfortable with. It's up to you. You
it's
can
yeah.
continue it. You can't.
I mean, if you
just-
kind of like look at, if I'm looking in terms of like statistics, if I'm if for instance I'm pulling 5 books, right? These are 5 different stories, 5 different characters I'm reading. Maybe one is I'm
It's
not
like
vibing with.
hooked you.
You know what I'm saying? So then I'm still picking up 4 really great stories. So
Yeah, true. I think on something else within the comic book, um, the Benjamin Pierce Ghost Rider.
oh yeah.
Apparently, that is a very good horror comic, and it obviously I was watching like Jim Min's thing.
Oh, fair,
Apparently,
fair,
it's a
fair.
very good run, but I remember reading the first 2 issues, and it kind of caught me.
Oh yeah.
Don't go I'm telling you this,
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
for
yeah.
the rest of you,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
take it.
if you keen, yeah.
Um, don't go into it with Wolverine in
Oh, that's
mindset,
fine.
because the Benjamin Pierce that's writing Wolverine is not giving us the Wolverine that we are looking for, but the Ghost Rider is almost as good as Daredevil.
Oh,
Guy, let me tell you, it's
oh,
it
you've
it,
piqued my interest.
it catches you, and you just are like, I could read more about this.
Okay,
It's quite
okay,
interesting.
all right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I know I've read issue 1, and issue 1 I was like, okay.
Nah, bro.
Maybe it's also the state of mind thing because I am picking up so many books and so many runs,
Could be.
and just to kind of kind of
Consolidate, yeah.
keep it all in my mind. I'm like, so maybe I'll just go through it again, see what's up.
Yeah, maybe just pick up 2. If you don't like it after 2, tap
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Because you and I more or less have the same kind of taste in books. Yeah. Shall we jump into the comic book club? So, as we said, in the spirit of Wakanda Forever, we are diving into the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, this is the second volume. So, Ta-Nahisi Coates is a novelist by trade.
Yeah.
Novelist and journalist. So,
And
his introduction to comic books, or his first comic book writing, was Black Panther.
yeah.
And then this is his second volume. Similar to how Chip Zdarsky wrote Daredevil.
Yeah.
And then now
And he
we're on a
just
second volume.
Continues it.
Yeah. Give us a breakdown.
So just a little bit of a breakdown for Wakanda. Well, it's not Wakanda,
Intergalactic, yeah.
Intergalactic Black Panther. The story starts off with. It was very confusing in the beginning because it starts off with Black Panther, and then he's a slave, and then there's he's in space.
Yeah.
And then you are like, what am I reading? And you get sort of confused with whatever's going on there, and then something in him switches because then he starts learning who he is, because he has to relearn why he is Black Panther. He has to something happened to him that most people don't because he's in space. Something happened to him, and it explains why he landed up in space and how he got into space, and then he learns that, and then it goes upon him relearning Black Panther, but also still saving the people that he's enslaved with.
Yeah.
In space. It's sort of what I'm not selling it really well, but this is the small little small
the
little
brief
thing.
description.
And then with that he learns that he's Black Panther, and then it builds on him learning and creating a Wakanda in space.
Yeah.
And then it continues to build.
I remember when I started reading this book. So I think this is what's great about Ta-Nahisi Coates' writing, is that I think for the first arc, I was confused. I'm like, okay, so we kick off with this homie. He's in space. He's enslaved. Almost like mining. They basically forcing these people to mine vibranium on this planet. It's out of space. I'm like, okay.
I was also like, wow.
Okay. And then he's getting visions of Storm. I'm like, okay, this is T'Challa. But the writing is so good because you're convinced. You're like, this is T'Challa. And then the way the characters are interacting, because they kind of break him out. M'Baku is there. I forgot the other names now. But the team is there. They interacting with this dude, and they So essentially, what happened was, and you kind of learn
Yeah.
as the story progresses, because T'Challa doesn't remember who he is.
Yeah.
They mind wiped him,
Yeah.
right?
And
And who's in charge of the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda is Killmonger.
oh yeah, I actually forgot about
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
he's imbued with a
And then,
symbiote.
yeah.
And at some point, he attacks Bast, the deity,
Yeah, I do remember this. And then
right?
like
Oh,
he
what
just
an amazing
creates
story.
chaos because then there's that whole scene where they go back to actual Wakanda
On Earth,
on
yeah.
Earth, and then there's this whole battle with Wakanda and Killmonger and
Exactly,
with the
exactly.
symbiote and everything. And then at one point, doesn't he like turn into Black Panther, and then he confuses? Well, Killmonger turns into Black Panther, and people are confused that this isn't T'Challa.
I don't think so.
It
So
was
I
something
know.
along those lines.
So I know somehow they snubbed him, T'Challa now, and then he kind of took on with his like symbiote. He took
Yeah.
on the emperor type thing, and he like ruling with the iron fist, and and it what's really nice is with the, I think it's the first maybe 12 issues, first two arcs. T'Challa doesn't really remember who he is. So as you kind of seeing him kind of like incorporating himself back in with like M'Baku, because they have a rebellion almost,
Yeah.
trying to fight back and try and take on. And during this period, T'Challa still doesn't remember who he is. So you still left with that doubt, like, okay, but like all the signs are there. This is
Yeah, and
T'Challa.
the team are also still trying to remind him that
Exactly.
you are the Black
So
Panther, you are king. Like,
exactly.
what the
So
hell are you doing? Kind of
instead
being a
of them flat out saying, "Hey yo, you the king, bruh. Get your things," they kind of lead, like slowly but surely his memories come back. He's fighting by muscle memory. He's like you can tell he's Black Panther. So I think they try and like leave him to his own devices, and like the
builds
more he
himself up
fights,
again,
and
yeah.
then he comes back. Then he fights for his empire back, and it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
What I do love is in New Avengers issue 1, the so kind of like the first Jonathan Hickman. So it's
think
kind
I
of
remember
like
this.
the first
Where they tell him
introduction
to-
of the incursions.
Yeah.
That kind of set up. So that kind of plot, right? Then incursions happen, blah 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 blah. Then Secret Wars happens. At the end of Secret Wars, T'Challa snatches the time stone, goes back in
Oh,
time
okay, cool. Yeah, I remember this.
to
now.
that moment, and then that's when they start charting for the Intergalactic Empire. So I was like, I really love that setup.
Yeah.
Because when I reread Secret Wars, I was like, oh, okay, there's this where we okay, cool.
Okay.
So yeah, no, one thing I love about the story is that I love it when you confuse me.
Yeah.
I love it when you confuse me, and
Because
I'm still intrigued.
yeah, because you're confused, but you're like, I need to read more to understand. Why
Exactly.
I'm confused.
Exactly. I'm like, I know for a fact this is T'Challa. He's dreaming about Storm. He's dreaming about all certain things. You can't tell me this is not T'Challa.
Yeah. Because
But
like,
his interactions with everyone else, you're like,
he's
is
very
this
like
T'Challa?
timid. Yeah, he's very timid. He doesn't have like his king
Like
star-
kingliness,
Like
yeah.
he doesn't have that. He's a slave, and it's just like, why is the man picking up rocks and like just like
Exactly.
It starts off very confusing, but you know that it's T'Challa.
Yeah.
You know that it's him, but you still don't understand
What's
why
exactly? Yeah.
he's okay with being
So
a slave and not like taking control. You know.
exactly, and so that's why I say I really love the structure and the storytelling, because like from issue 1, smack dead in the middle of whatever's happening, you're like, huh, okay. And then as you kind of progress, you see his like development and these attachments. Like it's kind of like someone relearning to be friends again. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Which is a really very nice emotion, very compassionate way to write
yeah.
T'Challa. Because you see, I mean, again, character development. You're seeing him kind of relearning these things, which is really great. While he's like kind of getting these flashes of his old life, and he's going through this confusion.
Yeah.
And as a reader, we're going through this confusion with him. You know what I'm saying?
And for him, and like in that moment, like we go in through the confusion, you are also still going through the emotions of him also being confused.
Exactly.
As to
Yeah.
be like, what am I actually doing here? Or
Exactly.
like, why do I keep picturing Storm? Why do I keep picturing all of these things? And you still are like, bro, we know who you are. Like,
Exactly,
come
yeah.
on, get it together.
And I do feel like the structure of the story is done really really well. The storytelling is really well, and it kind of like once it ends, it's like a nice clean slate for John Ridley because he's writing the current run to kind of not only John Ridley and the new current run, but like runs to come because now technically there's
Wakandas.
two Wakandas.
Yeah.
There's the intergalactic one in space,
And then there's
and
the
then
one
there's
on
one
Earth.
on Earth, which
Yeah.
is really cool. So you could actually have two kind of like stories going, similar to like how we have X-Men and X-Men Red, and
Yeah.
so there's two different plots, two different things. And I don't know if it's out. I don't know if we will get it, because I know there's one shots, Wakanda one shots, but I think that's more lead up to the movie to get people hyped for
Yeah,
the
there's
movie.
the Wakanda Forever and there's something else.
I would love because I know at the end of the run, Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, T'Challa leaves M'Baku in charge of the Intergalactic, and I love M'Baku.
That's actually really nice. Like,
I feel like
because
M'Baku's such a great character.
There's character there. Like,
Exactly,
he's
he's a good soldier, warrior.
he's a good leader as well.
Exactly, he's a strategist.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you see, and like while like you're saying, we're going through this, like T'Challa relearning his connections with his people. You see who M'Baku is in this story. You know, he almost kind of takes on like a mentor role to T'Challa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
does,
saying?
actually.
Because they butt heads.
Yeah.
You know,
But
obviously
in a good fashion.
in a good
but
way. Yeah.
Also, he does he butts heads with him, but he also learns from him in some
Exactly,
like some
exactly,
form.
and it's so wild because that might be like you say he's learning from M'Baku. That very well might be a lesson that T'Challa actually taught him. That's oh man, I love the story so much. You mixing, it's again. I'm all about balance. You're dealing with this emotional journey we on. We're learning what's happening, learning new, like re-engaging with these people. You got some cool like space cosmic stuff happening, as well as like cosmic
yeah.
meaning like spaceships and all that. I
was just
love
thinking of
like
something else,
because reading this, it's like if you take Black Panther and put him in Star Wars: A New Hope. That's what I felt like.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like.
What I thought of now is that in Wakanda we got Wakanda Forever, and Wakanda we got Nampo, who is
The antagonist, yeah.
So if we did the galaxy thing, who could his enemy be for vibranium in that? Well, not who could it be. It would be nice to get a villain to challenge Black Panther in a run like that.
Fair, in like a space kind of thing, yeah.
That would be very interesting.
Who could you actually? Because I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy are heroes. Who do you?
Okay, this doesn't mean that they should get Thor, because it wouldn't be. I mean, I don't think Thor would really care that much about vibranium, but it would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see.
It would be like I think with Thor, it'd be like a nice team up kind of thing, Thor, like M'Baku needs help guarding Beta Ray Bill and M'Baku.
That would be a vibe, actually.
Yo,
Beta Ray Bill is actually very underrated.
I love exactly.
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill gets a lot of love. He's a great character.
Oh,
and I do feel
even Krog. I mean, Krog is like, I enjoy Krog.
Yeah, I'm alright with Krog.
Actually, I enjoy the dog more than anybody else.
Yeah. Now I do feel, and you got like these kind of like, again, I don't want to say secondary or supporting characters, but like M'Baku and Beta Ray Bill have that kind of like,
cool,
dude, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I mean, maybe we should make one, Chad.
Hey, listen, sign us. We'll write this comic. We got it.
Yo, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no. Any other any dislikes on this run?
I don't think I had any dislikes. I think I can't say it was a dislike, but the confusion part. But the confusion part was good.
Yeah,
it was very well written for you to be confused, but still understand where you're going.
Where you are, yeah.
And the confusion part, as you mentioned before, was that you are going through the confusion as T'Challa is going through the confusion.
Exactly, yeah.
He's also like, What am I even doing?
Yeah, you like along for the ride.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say, and it's not a dislike, it's actually something I do enjoy. So this is something I enjoy throughout like my reading, when the artwork just kind of it's just, it's hard to explain, but like when artwork just, this is exactly what this story needs.
That's true.
For instance, Nick Klein on Ta-Nahisi Thor. It feels like a Norse. It feels like Norse. And artwork.
Our boy on Spider-Man.
Oh, come on. You're not talking about John Romita right now. Goodness.
I mean, I just thought I should have that little comment in.
I left the rant train. Now you want me to rant again, B?
No, fine, I'm just joking.
No, but
I think not I think I understand, but I 100% agree.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, if the writing is good and the writing is here, the drawing needs to like sort of match it. Or like you guys, well, not you guys, but it should be as good as the writing. Like
because it needs a compliment, like you said.
Continues on like Dark Crisis, not the current run. I think the one before Infinite Frontier, Justice League Incarnate. Where what blew my mind about that run is that obviously the writing is great, but Incarnate, there's that one scene where Darkseid, like it's sort of like Darkseid's in the dark in Omega.
Oh yeah.
Omega Earth or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it's just black, and the ring appears.
And then it's crazy,
black.
yeah.
And then I'm like,
oh yes, that ending bit,
just
right?
Like black panels, and you're just like, what?
Speaks volumes.
Like it's just like the small things, like you mentioned with Thor. It speaks North mythology. Like it speaks like if the writing and the art like work hand in hand.
It needs because at the end of the day, you're reading a comic book. If the artwork isn't quite there, you can maybe forgive it. You know what I'm saying? But when the artwork kind of like complements it and agrees with it, you know, the writing is great, and the it's like perfect storytelling. You're more invested. You're like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So
Vibes.
Go pick up this book, this arc.
Even if you pick up is there an omnibus for it? I don't think so.
There might be. I think.
Yeah. If you can't pick it up, read it online. Marvel,
definitely, Marvel Unlimited.
Marvel
that's where
Unlimited or wherever else you can.
I mean, it's 25 issues. It's a really. I think I cleaned 25 issues maybe in a space of 2 weeks, maybe 2 a night.
That sounds about right.
2 a night.
I think I did the same.
It's a really.
I might have done it in a week because I was.
Binge.